Howdy, this is Sadie the Piper Man. Piper the Sandman coming to you. I think it's 4:20 in the morning, and I woke up around 3, and I was watching a video of a ceremony, and it touched me on Tunnel Takes channel, uh, of retiring a flag. I only seen that ceremony done once before, and it's for me it was very moving because I believe in freedom. I believe, that the flag is sacred. You can believe what you want to believe, but it's sacred. So many of my friends have died for the cause of freedom, and we can see what's going around the world. We can see from a totalitarian state the need for defense, the need to have greater understanding from one generation to another generation. That freedom, you gotta fight for it. Because prior to the American Revolution, uh, there's something I want to say, and people wonder how is this Puerto Rican the Sons of Liberty? I happen to be a son of Liberty, which means that one of my forefathers, two of my forefathers fought the Revolutionary War. One of them fought at Bunker Hill. And he said, well, how is that? Well, people travel. People travel. People, we think sometimes, well, I was born in Carolina, my ancestors from Carolina. But unless you know the history, your ancestors could have lived in Carolina, born in Carolina, and went away for 15 years and came back. People did a lot of traveling back then. If you study the history, if you do your DNA, if you look at the archive, also happened to one of my ancestors of Scottish descent. Yeah, I got see this. I have Irish and Scottish in me. I have African slave in me. I have Native American blood in me. Praise God. and I am a product of my ancestors. So if you're a friend of my friends, you're a friend of my ancestors. Because they all love liberty. They all lived under oppression. The Scottish, the Irish, the Native American, and those are even Welsh and Scandinavian I got in me, man. I'm a whole mixture. You call an American mutt. I'm proud of it because it made me who I am, and I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free. I am so proud to be an American. You don't know, because you might say, "Whoa, I never met." I said, "You didn't meet, you never met me before, right? You meet me now." I'm proud to be American, to stand for the values of Americans. If you listen to a lot of what I have to say on all my videos, the nuances of the American language, the dialect, you realize, well, this guy's number one, he's traveled. Number two, some of the things that he talks about, only an American is going to be able to understand. I am American. I've absorbed from my ancestors. I've been around Italian Americans, Greek Americans, Jewish Americans, American American, Anglo-Saxon American, Celtic American, French Canadian Americans. And it's all good. It's all good, because if you believe the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights, man, and you stand about those, you know that we all have a God-given right of freedom, man. That's what unites us. God, freedom, liberty, the right to worship. I value those. I've lived by those, and I was willing to die by those. And I've had to patch up other veterans, you know, that are willing to give their life. I don't know if you ever been around somebody that's been in the trenches, been and are willing to give their life for it. I'm not talking about somebody that got into the military because they want a college education. I'm talking about individuals whose some grandpappies have all served. There's not one war my ancestors did not serve. Now, I'm not always on the same side. I have an ancestor that served on the Confederate side, and another ancestor that served that left here. I don't understand. This is crazy. These gadgets are crazy. So I want to smoke. This pipe is for liberty, for my friend Tunnel. I appreciate all of you guys, even though I don't know you personally. But I feel like when I hear you guys talk, parsimonious and all of the, I think we have common values. The right to smoke and to die like we want to die. We're gonna die of something. Look, some people never smoke a pipe and they dying in Ukraine right now. Right now they dying in Ukraine. Well, I'm taking my old K Woody made from from American's hands. Okay? It's not fancy dancy, but it's practical and it gets the job done. That's what I like about American products. It gets the job done. It's not. It's down to the basics. K Woody is down to the basics, and I love that. I'm also smoking. Tunnel said something very interesting about the tobaccos in the pouches, and it's often true. Sometimes the tobaccos in pouches. I'm smoking right now Captain Royal. I decided that I bought this pack to see. I usually buy the bigs. I could buy the big ones this time out. So I bought this one just to keep it around the house. I like to smoke it. I want to see what it's like. It's not too dry. It's not too moist. It's just right. I'm gonna light it up in the name of freedom. I hold these truths to be self-evident. One time. This match is so good. I'm gonna light it one time. And so, yeah, this is a fresh batch. Royal, Cavendish. My dogs are acting up. Cats going by. Captain Black's never failed me, man. I am so happy. I was so happy that that Tunnel gave a good review. the cherry Captain Black. I would have been highly disappointed. I said Cherry Lake. I said Tunnel likes uh, Captain Black Cherry. Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna order it. I also like this one they put out called Captain Black. Great. That wasn't too bad either. You might want to try that, Tunnel. It's pretty good. I think they only got it both sides. But you mentioned one that was Valley Pack, I think it was. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna keep the cherry blend alive. I like that. And I smoke Captain Black because one of the things, it's a sentimental thing for me when I was in the military. and I was overseas, and I couldn't get a hold of Captain Black tobacco at that time. The supply steward on the ship, they had a little commissary. You could purchase it. He used to always bring Captain Black. And I used to go with their desperation. Like when I had half a pack, I said, listen, can you put a rush on it? If you can't get me Captain Black, can you get me Borkin Riff? Now, Borkin Riff, I was, Borkin Riff, I began smoking Borkin Riff when I saw Jacques Cousteau smoke it. Jacques Cousteau, famous underwater oceanographer, used to smoke that. Jacques Cousteau, he smoked some other blend, but I knew he smoked Borkin Riff through his son. It's such a great pipe. It's 30. K. Woody. Don't forget it. So the guy will order in advance. I remember we were like 2 weeks. 2 weeks uh, before we were shipping out on a Westpac. And I said, man, please put those orders in. And so he goes, listen, I'm going to order all the black, Captain Black I can go on, but you better buy them. I said, I promise I brought him. And it was, he could only get the original, Captain Black original comes in a white. I said, can you get some Borkin Riff? He goes, yeah, I can get some of that too. You want to buy this stuff, Santiago? I can't have, they're going to be asking me why I'm ordering this, who's smoking pipe and this and that. And you tell them I smoke it when we hit shore. And I smoke it, you got a whole lot to say. Tell them you got a whole lot to say to that smoke. So he will order, and I will come down, and I will get a call. Oh, medic will give me a call. We have phones, internal lines. I got that here. I will go down to the commissary. They have everything. And this is the age where you had those cassette tapes and Walkman. So I bought. I was one of his best buys. He goes, not for nothing, man. You spend about $200 a month at the commissary. I have to get my Snicker bar, couple of packs of tobacco, and I would buy music cassettes. Yes, as I love music, I used to buy cassettes, and it didn't matter, man. And sometimes, you gotta invest. So sometimes when he bought something and it didn't move, it says, "Who's that?" Waylon Jennings. It says it hasn't moved in a couple. He goes, "Yeah, I bought that in. I thought people like country music." I said, "I'll buy it." Cassettes were like $6 then. He says, "You don't like country?" I said, "I like a little country." You know who Waylon Jennings is? No. So he says, "Okay." So I buy it, but I realized, wait, Waylon Jennings is good. Then I started listening to Boxcar Willie. Then one of my favorites, Merle Haggard. I even bought the Madrell Sisters. Then I was like buying these guys that the backup band of Elvis. I even bought some Elvis. One of my favorite, Bobby Gentry, Billy Joe Gentry. I forgot her name. The Tallahatchie Bridge. I love me some Glenn Campbell. I bought I like Western music too. Da 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 da. I fell in love with a Mexican girl. I forget the words, but I know the melody. Freddie Fender, till the next teardrop falls. It was a big hit. Freddie Fender had a huge hit. So I used to listen to all kind of music. And so Captain, getting back to the original I was talking about, Captain Black has always been there. When I was in the Philippines, I had Captain Black with me. When I was in Australia, I had Captain Black with me. One of the favorite beaches, Super Bay Beach. I remember I was sitting there and I told the the driver I didn't have no pipe tobacco. And I was talking to a Filipino trike. They have these little cars called trikes. I says, I want some pipe tobacco. I can get you some pipe tobacco. You station depot? You station depot? That means, am I gonna stay there and do tour? I get you for free. But you station depot, you get me. You get me a wine bottle. He get a lot of black marketing going on. So he went and brought back some Captain Black. I said, "Where'd you get this Captain Black?" When I look on this, it says U.S. Commissary. So the trikes, dealers, whatever the Americans wanted, they could get American products from on base. You had a lot of Filipinos working on base. And I don't know if they were stealing it or not. I don't think so. I think they were giving like 30% off, so they would get it real cheap and sell it. You know, there's a lot of black marketing going on. So he gave me a Captain Black, and I would sit in the on the beach, and I had 2 or 3 girls with me. One which is I sent off to buy fruit, and I'm lying there with my pipe in mouth, and one she lit it for me. You know, the peso, the Philippine peso, was nothing. I was living like I was a rich man. I had my own security guard, my own place to stay. The trike came and wanted me to hire his sister as a maid to clean the quarters I was staying there for like about a month and a half, 2 months. So I rented a little small place out of town with security guard. So I was living out of Subic Bay. You know, I took 2 weeks leave. 2 of the 4 weeks I was living off base. Man, I had like 8 or 9 Filipinos working for me. I had one that was cooking for me, traditional Filipino dish. I had my security guard. I had my trike. I was living good over there, and I was friendly. And I remember one of the girls I was dating. She was older. She was like 40. And she was surprised that I took a liking to her because she was older than me. I was 21, 22, but I used to like older women. And she says, "You don't mind if I bring my father?" Because my father don't believe that I'm dating somebody younger. So her father was a veteran of World War II, man. He was a Filipino jungle fighter. And he came, he was a very serious man, short. They call him Negrito. He was very dark skinned. He looked at me. He goes, You Cuban, Puerto Rican?" He knew. You talk about, man, he was already in his 80s. Yeah, he was young. He was young. 16, 17 years old when he was fighting in the jungles against the Japanese. So I got firsthand from another person outside of my uncle It was 1981. He was 80 years old, so I could tell he wasn't lying. 'Cause a lot of the things that he was talking about, my uncle told me. You know, there were guides in the jungle. Listen, Negritos were indigenous to some of the Philippine islands, dark skin. According to anthropologists, it seems that many of them migrated from Africa, intermarried, and created. We're not Polynesians. They weren't Samoans. They weren't Tahitians. They weren't from like Pango Pango. They were more like from like New Guinea. They looked like New Guineans. When the sun got to me, I turned real dark. I was very skinny, and so a lot of New Guineans thought I was like from New Guinea. But most that were out there thought I was like from Fiji. He says you got the features of a Fijian. I don't know. I had big, strong legs. I was very muscular. So a lot of Hawaiians when I was in Hawaii thought I was Fijian or a mixture. Some thought I was Aborigine. So get along with people, man. And, well, they're pretty good. So this traveled with me around the world. When I look at a bag of Captain Black, I think nothing but good things. Same thing with Borkin Riff. Some of the best smokes out in the Indian Ocean have been Captain Black sitting on the Steel Beach picnic, on the fantail, looking down the middle of the Pacific Ocean, like the Kantiki expedition. Just seeing the beauty of it, seeing Krakatoa, seeing Java, seeing all those lands, Tahiti, see the colors of the ocean, and I'm there smoking with the pipe, and I'm looking at all that. So it brings back a lot of good memories, you know. This is nice, very mellow, a lot like Q1. The only thing I think this has got a little sugar base in it. I'm not sure. Very nice Cavendish, Virginia, Mount Virginia. Nice. Captain Black. This is not for everybody. Yeah, aromatic. I used to have the Captain Black pipe. Great. Very nice. Very flavorful. You know, want to smoke it, keep working, and doing what you got to do. And, mild topping. It's not heavily topped. Still one of the best. It's one of those blends that generic blends that people enjoy, just like Q1. Very good. I would like to go on a Caribbean cruise. You know, just be on board a Caribbean cruise ship and just walk the decks, feel the breeze, feel the smell. just go out and then you don't see any land, and you're sitting there and you see the rise of the sun, then all of a sudden you see land in the humidity and the mist. And I'd be thinking, man, that's how it must have been there. These guys were out at sea for long periods of time. All of a sudden they saw land. Land ahoy! Especially now, people are so connected to the media that it's like we're all developing this one global culture. You know, you don't have a particular culture anymore. You have a commercial culture, culture for the populace. You have a Cajun friend. He's Cajun. Live in the backwoods of Louisiana. You remember that first time I tried the gumbo with Tabasco sauce? Everything was in that thing. I remember eating it and listening to Zydeco music. Never heard it. All of a sudden you hear it and you're like, wow, it's not country. It's its own idiom, you know? Black French.